The door to the cafe swung open with a sharp jingle, carrying a rush of cold air inside. I was still standing there, my boss mid-lecture, his face red with anger, when the woman from this morning, Maria, walked in, holding the hand of a little girl. The room went silent, even the espresso machine seemed to pause. Maria looked nervous but determined, like someone who wasn't used to asking for anything, yet found the courage anyway. "Excuse me," she said softly. My boss blinked, confused. "Can I help you?" he asked, clearly annoyed. "This man saved my life today," she began, placing a gentle hand on her daughter's shoulder. "And he saved my daughter's life too. I know I don't matter to you, but he does. He helped us when no one else would." Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried a strength that filled the entire room. Several customers turned to listen. My boss shifted uncomfortably, glancing between us. "Well, that's nice," he muttered, but he still abandoned his shift. "No," she said, shaking her head, "he didn't abandon anything. He chose kindness. And I think the world needs more people like him." Her daughter stepped forward then, tiny, big-eyed, with hair tied in a crooked ponytail. She held out a piece of paper. "I made you this," she said shyly. I took it. It was a crayon drawing of me standing next to her and her mom, the words "Thank you for saving my family" written in uneven letters. Something tightened in my chest, something warm and painful at the same time. I'd never had anyone thank me like that. Not ever. My boss looked around, clearly realizing the room was no longer on his side. "Break's over," he snapped, but it was weaker now, empty. When he turned away, Maria leaned toward me. "I don't want to cause trouble," she whispered, "but I wanted you to know your kindness mattered more than you think." I smiled and told her she hadn't caused any trouble. She hugged her daughter's hand tighter and added, "If you ever need anything, anything at all, we owe you." I thought that was the end of it. But life had other plans. 2 days later, I showed up at the cafe only to be told I was fired. My boss didn't even have the decency to say it to my face. He left a note taped to the break room door. "We need employees who are committed to their job, not personal heroics." My hands shook as I read it. I wasn't angry, I was disappointed. I'd spent 5 years in that cramped kitchen, doing every shift they threw at me, never complaining, never late. And the one day I chose to do something good, something human, I was thrown out like trash. I walked out into the cold parking lot with no plan, no job, and no idea what I was going to do next. But that was the moment everything shifted again. As I unlocked my car, my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. I hesitated before answering. "Hello," I said quietly. "Hi, is this the man who helped my daughter and me?" The voice was gentle, hopeful. "Maria." "Yes," I said, surprised. "Is everything okay?" There was a pause, then she said, "Can you meet me at the community center on 8th Street? Please. I promise it's nothing bad." I had no reason to say no. Something about her tone felt important. So I drove there. What I didn't know was that walking into that building would become the moment that truly changed my life forever. Inside the community center, families were moving around, kids playing, volunteers sorting boxes, people sitting in chairs filling out forms. And near the back, I saw Maria waving. Beside her was a man in a suit, holding a folder. "Thank you for coming," she said, smiling warmly. I told someone about you. Someone who wanted to meet you." The man stepped forward. "My name is David Harrison," he said, shaking my hand firmly. "I'm the director of the Hopeline Foundation. Maria told me what you did for her and her daughter." I felt awkward, unsure of what to say. "I didn't do anything special," I mumbled. He shook his head. "That's where you're wrong. Most people walk past. You didn't. You saw someone in need and acted without expecting anything in return. That's rare." They led me to a small room where volunteers were preparing care packages. "We have a position open," David continued. "Full-time. We help struggling families find housing, work, legal aid, and support. We need employees who actually care about people. Maria insisted we call you first." My heart skipped. "Me?" I asked. "But I've never done anything like this." David smiled. "You already did. You just didn't know it." I looked at Maria. She nodded, eyes shining. "You changed my life. Let us change yours." I didn't know what to say. I felt overwhelmed, stunned, grateful. The job paid better than the cafe, offered training, and came with benefits I'd never had before. But more than that, it meant something. It mattered. It was real. I accepted the job. The next morning, I walked into the Hopeline Foundation as a new employee, not as a guy making sandwiches for people who barely remembered my name. I was someone who could make a difference. Someone who mattered. And every time I felt nervous or unsure, I kept the little crayon drawing in my wallet, the one from Lily. It reminded me that one small act of kindness could ripple through the world in ways you never expect. Months passed, and I found myself helping families just like Maria's, people fighting battles they never asked for. Some days were heavy, some exhausting, but every day felt meaningful. Every day felt earned. And one afternoon, as I was leaving the office, I saw Maria and Lily waiting for me outside. Lily ran toward me, holding a new drawing. This one showed a bigger picture. Me helping different people, standing in the middle with my hands open. Above it, in bright yellow crayon, she wrote, "You changed our life. Now you change many more." And that was the moment, the real moment, when I realized my life hadn't changed because of luck or timing or accident. It changed because when fate opened a small door in front of me, I stepped through it. I chose kindness, and kindness chose me back. The moment I stopped walking past someone else's pain was the moment my own life finally began.